What is up, guys? This is Jesse over here at Initiate Motorsports. I wanted to make a quick little video about going from the sim to real life drifting and what that was like. The problem was, once I got out there, I didn't spend a whole lot of time filming with the GoPro to really get my experience in the moment, so I figured I'd make this video kind of after the fact. So this was my first event ever in real life. I've spent hundreds and hundreds of hours on the sim, but this was the first time I was actually getting out on track. I've done a bunch of street stuff, donuts, little stuff, but I've never actually really drifted, so this was a first for me. So when I first got out to the track, obviously went through tech and inspections. By the way, inspections, if you read their website, they say they're going to look at a whole lot of different things. They didn't look at any of them, which was cool. My car was perfectly legal, but I was laughing at how much energy I spent getting that battery to stay down and covered, just for them to say, the battery's over there, right? Yep, it's over there, and on to the next car. So when I first got out on the track, my first few laps were pretty terrible. I was just pretty much spinning out right off the bat. So yeah, I think I did 2 or 3 laps where essentially I would just spin out 2 or 3 times around a couple of corners. But that's about how much time it took me to get the hang of it, and then I really started working on trying to link the whole course. So there's a couple of notable moments throughout the day. At one point, my little brother was in the car with me doing a ride along, and as we were coming off on one of my better laps at that point, we look over to our left, and on the skid pad there's a Foxbody that is on fire. I didn't really notice it, of course. He did, but of course he yelled at me, and I was trying to get their attention yelling at them. They didn't hear me, obviously.
Oh. Oh, they're flat. That guy's on fire.
Huh?
That guy's on fire.
Hey! Hey!
He's got people coming. He's got people coming. You got something? Putting out fires too, huh?
Yep.
Eventually, we see some people yelling at him. I think he had finally got the message. I pulled up to him pretty quick. I jumped out, wasted my entire fire extinguisher on him. Well, it turns out there's a fire truck that came flying up, and so I didn't really end up doing much in the scheme of things, but still, I just figured if someone had a fire extinguisher, I'd hope they'd help me put my car out. Once the fire was out, you could definitely see there was fuel leaking underneath that car. And that guy got his issues fixed and was back out on track just a little bit later. I kept waiting for him to come up and thank me, but he didn't, which, not like I really want anything from him. I just kind of expected a thank you for jumping out and trying to save your car. But anyways, I just continued on running the easy track pretty much for the rest of the day. Obviously, the fun comp track was occupied by the guys in the competition. So then towards the end of the day, this kid in a 350Z in the line next to me kind of points at me and gives me the old let's tandem.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. Oh, shit. Should I go in the back or?
I explained to him over the noise of two loud-ass cars that today's my first day drifting. I don't know if that's a great idea. I think he got the message, but he pretty much just said, like, follow me, you'll be alright. So we run probably 5 or 6 laps like that. I was keeping my distance, but we were having fun. It was a good time. With about an hour left in the day, that same kid who I've been kind of tandeming with, obviously from a distance, he points over at the comp track that had a competition on it but ended just before. Like, hey, let's run the comp track. I'm like, alright, cool. So our first lap out on the comp track, and I noticed pretty much in the first and second corner that I'm quite a bit faster than he is, or I'm running a shallower line than him, but something is off where I'm catching up to him pretty much in the second corner. But I throw on a little left foot braking and everything seems to be fine. I'm trying to keep my distance, but I'm creeping up on him. We get back in line to go for a second run on that comp track. And so we take off on this second lap, and of course, same thing. First corner, I kind of catch up, and I had left a good bit of distance off of him on that start, but I caught up to him in the second corner. And I'm not sure exactly what came over me, but I ended up getting a lot closer than I had on the first lap. But as he's coming out of the third corner, he spins out. And being as I'm new to this, I didn't slow down and get out of the way fast enough, and the whole rear quarter panel on my passenger side obliterates his front end on the Z. We both feel terrible. He's super upset, but he's more upset at himself / the situation. We get back into the pits and kind of take a look at each other's cars. And man, the whole front end of his car is just jacked. About that time I realized to probably look at my car, and the whole rear quarters just caved in. But the wheel held up, so did my suspension. I haven't seen anything down there that's got any issues yet, so I feel super bad for him. I end up just towing his car home. But all of these events that happened on that day did give me quite a bit of experience. It definitely taught me some things about going from the sim to real life. So the 3 things I really think I learned the most about were, number 1, I feel like a lot of people always hated on Tando Buddies, Gravy Garage, BDC, because they weren't very grippy. And what I realized is real life cars, at least my car with a 245 on the rear of a G35, isn't super grippy. I would say my car kind of drove like a BDC car. And I feel like everybody in the Assetto world always says, oh, if it's not Swarm, if it's not VDC, then it's not realistic. Brother, I got news for you. I mean, those cars are gripped up to the moon, and my car did not handle anything like that. And don't get me wrong, I can still drive VDC cars, but I was going into the real-life drift event driving my car like that, pretty much always on throttle, just regulating my throttle control. And I spun out a bunch of times. The second thing I learned is that I need to tone down my ego a little bit. And what I mean by that is taking it slow. There's a lot of people out there that learned on a real car, on a stock angle, stock suspension, 150 horsepower car. And now they're at the level they are, and I'm trying to skip all that because I've got a bunch of time on a video game. And even though I think the skills absolutely do transfer over, I still think I should take it slow and have the same learning progression that they all did. That might be the cleanest one yet. And my last and final thing, number 3, that I learned, my last and final lesson, number 3, is that there are a lot higher consequences while you're out there. And I'm not just talking about fixing the quarter panel on my car. You're also out there with other people's cars, with their pride and joy, and one little mistake you make could really ruin someone's fucking day. Anyways guys, this is Jesse with Initiate Motorsports. I really appreciate you guys watching the video. If you could please like, comment, and subscribe, and then leave a comment down below actually. What things have you guys learned from going from the sim to real life driving? Is there any other tips or tricks you guys want to give me before my second event? Alright guys, I appreciate it. Thank you all for watching. Take care.